Are you looking for the best cheap audio interface? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best cheap audio interface on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Native Instruments Complete Audio 2. Here's the scenario: you're inspired to start music production after being fascinated by the music production process or absorbed into a genre you want to make yourself. You look up tutorials on making music, see these producers with a massive collection of virtual instruments and plugins, and run them on professional-looking DAWs. Software is a significant barrier to entry into music production that quite a few people want to pursue. Electronic music makes use of these virtual instruments and plugins for their sound. That said, even the best audio interfaces often include essentials such as a watered-down DAW and some rudimentary plugins. Many USB audio interfaces come with bundled software, but Native Instruments Complete Audio 2 interface feels more like a software package with a free bundled interface. On the hardware, the Complete Audio 2 sports 2 combo XLR jacks with line/instrument switches. This enables recording with a stereo pair of microphones or stereo out from keyboards. It is an incredible value package that includes plugins and virtual instruments, effects, and amp simulations. This is great for those who want a complete software suite right out of the box without purchasing anything else. Number 2. Focusrite Scarlet Solo 3rd Gen. Focusrite has become a household name since its compact audio interfaces were introduced. The Scarlet Solo is one of their best-selling and most well-known product lines. The Solo sports a basic set of outputs, a pair of L/R 1/4 outputs for studio monitors and a 1/4 stereo headphone out. New for the 3rd gen is the addition of Focusrite Air. Focusrite describes Air as an emulation of their ISA preamp tonality. This follows the trend of adding console functions to a budget USB audio interface. It adds upper mid-range and high-frequency harmonics to my ears on top of your signal. This is great if you're using warmer-sounding microphones and dynamic mics. The Solo shared a similar recording quality to more expensive recording equipment, like my 18i20. I felt the Solo had just a bit more mic gain on tap, enough to drive my Shure SM57 properly without an inline preamp. The 3rd gen Solo was also noticeably quieter with dynamic mics than the 18i20. With condenser mics, the Solo shines with delicate-sounding vocals with just the right amount of high-end crispness to help a solo vocal stand out from a piano or acoustic guitar instrumental. Number 3. Universal Audio Volt 1. Its built-in switchable vintage preamp mode sets the Universal Audio Volt 1 apart. It uses analog solid-state components, including op-amps, to add tube preamp-style saturation and clipping to the sound. The voicing it produces mimics the company's 610 mic tube preamp. This allows for a unique tone-shaping ability you wouldn't usually get from an audio interface. This feature works great with vocals and specific instruments, although it does add a bit of tube noise, as expected from analog equipment. But since it's switchable, you're not forced to use it. So you will always have the option of basic clean analog to digital conversion or external preamps and channel strips. Another nifty feature of the Volt 1 is its input metering, which lets you visually monitor input levels. The metering involves 2 small LEDs, so it's not very accurate, but still useful for single-track recording of vocals and instruments. Everything else about the Volt 1 is on par with what you'd expect from a single-channel USB interface. The sample rate is good, and the mic preamps are quiet and clean. It has everything a musician needs for quick recordings and can also be a good interface for streaming and broadcasting. Number 4. Universal Audio Volt 2. Universal Audio isn't one to miss out on the cheap audio interface hype. The Volt series is their way of kicking the notch up in quality for interfaces at this price point. It features a preamp section based on their 610 tube preamp/consoles, famous for records like Harvest by Neil Young, LA Woman by The Doors, and quite a few mentioned Van Halen. One by Van Halen was recorded on one. With this catalog of hits, it's impossible not to have high expectations about Universal Audio's implementation of the preamp sound into a compact audio interface. The chassis combines a powder-coated black lower half and a textured, matte silver upper bout. This combo adds to the premium feel of the unit. The knobs felt smooth and had just the right resistance for finer adjustments. The buttons for phantom power, monitoring, and engaging the vintage mode of the preamps are clear buttons with a raised plastic surround. The buttons themselves illuminate when activated and have a very high-quality, tactile feel that inspires confidence in the long-term durability of the unit. The XLR combo plugs are made by Amphenol and are also of high quality. The knobs are accompanied by two LED lights each to indicate signal and clipping, while the monitor host/direct switch has an indicator for which routing is activated. Number 5. Focusrite Scarlet 2i2 3rd Gen. The Scarlet series has long been a darling with the Project Studio community for its excellent sound quality, solid build, and incredible plug-in bundles. The 3rd Gen release of the line makes minor tweaks that improve the overall capabilities of each model, especially the way they handle high-gain inputs from mics and instruments. The 2i2 is no exception to these improvements, as the unit now includes Focusrite's proprietary air technology from their more expensive ISA series preamps. This improves the basic audio quality of this cheap interface. The Scarlet 2i2 makes for an excellent first serious interface, being the best at this price point for many use cases. With no compromises made regarding the preamp and signal converters, the 3rd Gen 2i2 is a wise upgrade for small home studios and mobile setups. It is also a good audio interface for podcasts and live streaming. I didn't have access to a USB mixer, but the 2i2 served as a suitable option for my live streaming interface. This setup served me well for a year, and I found no problems. I especially love the visual feedback the ring lights provide. The headphone output is also an upgrade from the Scarlet Solo. Adjusting the headphone output separately is a major factor in getting this over the Solo.